I was sent this third-hand soldering system to go ahead and give you an honest review, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I've been using this for various projects for the last week or two, and I am really, really impressed with this thing. I'm going to go ahead and show you everything you get, and then we're going to go ahead and just kind of see how the whole thing works and why this is probably one of the best third-hand soldering systems I've ever used or seen. So let's just kind of talk about what you get here. You get this plate of metal. So you see this plate right here? This is a solid steel plate, and what that does, it has little rubber feet on the bottom. You can put them on. It is nice and heavy, and it keeps everything solid to the ground, pulled down. It's not going to float around. It's not going to slide. Those rubber feet prevent it from moving around. And then you have all of these other magnetic tools that fit onto the plate. Now, you wouldn't normally use all these tools on one plate at one time, so let's kind of go through each one and see what you get. You have the, hang on, there, the vice grip. This is a super nice vice grip. It does have a swivel at the bottom. It also goes ahead and opens up here. It is fairly strong. It will also, because it has a nice strong magnet on there, which can be taken off if you want, it will click. Listen to this. That is a heck of a good magnet, and it will keep things in place exactly as you need them. I really like the vice grip. Not all the third-hand systems have it. That has been useful in a couple different cases where I need to hold something kind of big. You also get this rotating, kind of this reticulating arm. Now this thing bends in about 1,000 different ways. There's a joint down here. There's a ball joint up here. You just loosen it. You loosen it and you kind of bend it around like that. Let's see here. We have this claw. Now this claw comes on and off. These are all standard fittings. I believe it's 1/8 inches, whatever you use for photography stuff. All the photography pieces fit on here as well. So here you have this arm here, which is, again, you got a ball joint down here. You got a ball joint up here. You have this, which can rotate back and forth. It's also magnet based. And then you have this little clip here as well. This is kind of a clever, opens up and tightens. There we go. I'm going to tighten it up. I'm going to open it back up. I haven't used this a whole lot, but this would be good for round things for like pipes and whatnot. You also get 4 of these super flexible arms. I have found these to be the most useful for me because I can magnet them to the base and I can do anything I want with them. I can move them anywhere I want, any position, height, whatever. I just kind of bend it and go. On each of these arms, you do get a little alligator clip, and the clip will come on and off. What you do is you take the clip off. The clips are insulated as well, so that's kind of nice. I'm going to put that on there, and you just tighten the screw in to kind of keep it nice and tight. There we go. Now it's not going to come off, and you get 4 of those. Again, I've never used all 4 at once. I just have them here, but normally I use 2 or 3, and I kind of angle things together. You also get 4 of these little pillars. Now these pillars are also magnetic. They stick to the base, but they're for holding electronic boards, circuit boards, and I'll show you that in a moment. You also get this magnifying arm with the light built into it, so you can show down light with a magnifier. That's great as well. You can change the brightness, you can change the warmth or the tone of the color, and you also get an actual block with a USB, so you actually have something to plug it in right on the wall. Everything's included. That's really nice. Let me go ahead and kind of show you. I'm going to flip the camera around, kind of show you what it's like to work on this. So here's what it looks like when you're actually working on it. Here is the light itself. It is magnetized in. I'm just kind of moving it around. The controller for the light is a pretty standard one. It's a power button on and off. There you go. And then I can change the warmth of the light. It's not sure if you can see it on the camera, but it does change the warmth. I have like, that's really warm. It's kind of a mix. I like the mix. And then you can go ahead and make it much dimmer. I'll click it and go down, and then I'll click it and go back up. I'll keep it as bright as it can for the moment. Okay, so once the light's on, moving around, I have a circuit board here, and you can see all I did was I just moved these little pillars in to kind of catch the board. There's one, and I'll move this one in here, just like that. Okay, good. If I want to put these in, I can. But now I'm ready to solder. I can go ahead and solder my connections. I say, well, gee, Tom, it's kind of hard to see. My eyes aren't so good. That's fine. Here is where the real power comes in. Let's see if you can see it. There we go. You can see that this is a 3 times magnifier. It might not be real focused on the camera, but it really is a very good magnifier. It is great for soldering, for craft stuff. It really does work fairly well. Again, it might not be really in focus because I can't quite see through the camera, but it does work well. It's a nice sharp magnifier once you kind of get it in line on what you want to do. I've used it a couple different times for a couple little projects, and it works great. You can see things moving around, soldering. It works really well. I've always wanted something like this strength with this light. It just makes it super, super useful. This is also great for things like hobbyists, for toys. So if I wanted to paint anything, I could go ahead, I could set my character up exactly with my toy, exactly whatever I wanted to do, and I could paint it. And again, I could use a magnifier to go ahead and paint as needed. If the light's too bright, I can just go ahead and dim it down so I get better lighting. That works really well. This is just super, super flexible. Because you have so many options with moving things around, you could easily go ahead and apply a little bit of super glue here, use these arms and kind of just adjust things and push things together and keep them together with a little bit of tension, maybe a third arm to kind of push this in. I did this for a smaller, for a porcelain cup last week. I actually put the cup on its side and I used the two arms to glue the handle on, and it worked great. Even with like a glue gun, you could go ahead and glue things, you could fix things, any kind of a craft or small detail artwork hobbyist stuff. This is a wonderful plate to have because it has so many tools and so many options. So this is one of the best soldering third hand systems I've ever seen. It has so many different parts, the arms, the clamps, the various bendable options, the vice grip, the circuit board holder. All of these things are magnetic. They all stick to this little base. I love the fact that it's small enough that I can actually pick it up and move it around. So if I need to get to the other side of something, I can just pick this, I can just rotate it and put it back down. It's not a giant heavy plate. Everything's not going to fall off. Things are going to stay secure with those strong magnets. I love the magnifying glass. This is actually what makes the whole thing usable. I have a nice 3x magnifying glass with the light. That also works really, really well, better than I expected. It just makes all of my hobby work, all the work that I had to do close up and little fiddly work, the soldering, the glue, it just makes it so much easier. This is really a nice system. It comes with a ton of different parts, a lot of different options. It's highly recommended.